Hello, welcome to the final episode on SURDS. Okay, let's get rolling with it. This is the question. We are rationalising the denominator, but this looks very different to the ones in the previous video. That's because we want to rationalise something with two terms on the bottom. We can no longer just multiply by the surd that's in the question. We have to think outside the box a bit. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little algebra concept that helps you get your head around this. Now, when we have something like this, so it looks familiar, okay, to this one, it's a plus, then we've got two values, okay, an A and a B value. If I multiply this by the same two values, but there's a negative for one of the values, if you expand this out, you get a nice phenomenon, okay? We get A times A is A squared. A times negative B, that is going to be AB, or take away AB. Then we've got B times A, that is the same thing. I'm going to put the A first for algebraic order. And then B multiplied by negative B is negative B squared. Now, what that ends up becoming is the AB and the AB cancel out, because one's a positive and one's a negative. So we have A squared take away B squared. Now, this is actually a great thing. This is called the difference of two squares, okay? This is a great thing for us, because if I square a surd, it's gone. The square root has gone, because a surd times a self becomes a normal integer. So we're going to use this to answer this. So on this first one, we are going to, and I'm going to put my brackets in, multiply the bottom by, well, root 2 stays the same, like the A and the A stay the same here. But because there's a plus here, I'm going to change that to a takeaway. And there we go. This looks similar to this now. But you've got to remember to times the top as well to keep the fraction equivalent. So the bottom is very easy to do. We can just use this thing where we're going to have root 2 squared, which would become a normal 2. Take away the 1 squared, which is just 1. That's it for the denominator. You have got rid of the surd. This is fantastic. This is the whole point of the question. Now we do the top. We've got 3 lots of root 2. Take away 3. Okay, let's tidy up the bottom. That is 2 take away 1, which is just 1. So anything divided by 1, we don't need to write as a fraction anymore. So my answer is that. 3 root 2 take away 3. Okay, on to the next one. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go a bit trickier with the next one. So we've got root 2 divided by, let's go root 7 plus root 10. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we've got to get rid of these things. We look to our difference of two squares. So I'm going to multiply, put my bracket in, the square root of 7. This is a plus, so I'm going to use a takeaway, the square root of 10, and then we times the square root of 2 by the square root of 7, take away the square root of 10. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to sort out the bottom first, because we just do square root of 7 squared, which is 7, take away the square root of 10 squared, which is 10. Okay, then on the top, we've got square root of 2 multiply the square root of 7, that is the square root of 14. And then the square root of 2 multiplied by the square root of 10, which is the square root of 20. Now on this particular one, we're going to do 2 bits of simplifying to finish it off. On the denominator, that is going to become negative 3. And then the square root of 14 can't be simplified. There's no square number in it. But the square root of 20, we can write that as the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. And the square root of 4 becomes a 2. So we can write it like that. Now, we can't really divide anything by negative 3, so we could leave our answer like that. Now, we tend to not like a negative on the bottom, so you could jazz it up a bit, because these are both being divided by a negative. What ends up looking like it happens if you can swap them over, and it gets rid of the negative on the bottom. Actually, you divide it by a negative. So This is going to become a positive because you've got a negative divided by a negative. And then you've got positive divided by a negative. So you can change that round and then you get rid of that nasty negative on the denominator. But you don't have to do that, okay? That's just to neaten it up a bit. This is the same answer, this is just a bit nicer. Right, we'll do one final example. So, right, last example for you. I have the square root of 11, take away the square root of 3, and then on the denominator, I have the square root of 11 plus the square root of 3. Okay, so we worry about the denominator. I need to multiply by the opposite. So I get my brackets, multiply by square root of 11, take away the square root of 3, and then the square root of 11, take away the square root of 3. On the denominator, we have a lovely difference of 2 squares, so I'm going to have 11, take away 3. But on the top, I'm going to get 4 items. I've got square root of 11 times square root of 11, which is 11. I've got square root of 11 multiplied by negative root 3. So that is going to be negative root 33. Then we've got square root of negative root 3 multiplied by the square root of 11 again. So another negative root 3. And then on the end, root 3 times root 3 is a normal 3. And it's a negative times a negative. So we get a plus 3. Right, let's neaten that up. On the top, that is 14. And then take away 2 lots of root 33. And then on the denominator, that is an 8. All of these things can be divided by 2. So we can simplify that to become 7, take away root 33 over 4. And we are now finished. The reason this can be divided by 2 is because it's 2 lots of it. Like a 2x can be divided by 2 to become 1x, here 2 of a third can be divided to become 1 of a third. All right, we are done. Okay, that is the whole SURDS course finished. That is all the skills you need for this GCSE. So make sure you go away and practice them, especially these questions here if you're on the higher tier. These always seem to appear most years, and it's using all the skills we practice in every video. So if you are confident with this question, you are confident with SURDS as a whole. Make sure you give it a go, give it a practice. On to the next topic. All the best. Bye.